Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the No Close Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be here with you guys today. And today's show, I want to spend a little time reflecting back on what we've accomplished here in the last year. 2019 has been an amazing year. I want to give a big shout out to some of our biggest fans out there and just everybody who's done an amazing job for us. First and foremost, I got to thank you listeners out there. We over doubled our download numbers across our different podcasting platforms this year. So big thank you to all you guys that are listening, guys and gals are listening, whether it's on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever. I want to say thank you to all of you that are listening out there on that. Now, of course, we added a big thing this last March and adding our 17 different AM/FM radio stations that are available out there. So I give a big shout out to Stuart Venner and his team at AM/FM 24/7. Jason Dowd and Stuart do an amazing job in helping get our episodes out to everybody at the different channels, whether it's Long Beach or Las Vegas or Colorado Springs or Boulder, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and then down to Macon, Georgia, and then, of course, those in the Tampa market, the Villages, Newport Richey. So honored to have you guys. And then let's not forget those in Quantico as well, between the most recent channel has been added there. So big shout out to all of you listeners that listen across any of those AM/FM radio stations. We are honored. And I would love to hear from you. If you're listening on the radio stations or anything, I would love for you right now to send me a text message to my cell phone, 512-585-3810. Once again, 512-585-3810. And tell me how you listen to either on the, which channel you listening to. You listen on the radio station, if so, which channel? If you're listening to any of the podcasting platforms, what podcasting platform you're listening to, or even if you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you to our YouTube subscribers and our family. And tell me how you're watching this. You can feel free to comment on the YouTube video. Would be great too. But big kudos to all of them. I have to give a big shout out to Stephanie Goodman, obviously VP of Operations, who keeps me in line so I can get everything done. Big shout out to our sponsors, Laughlin and Associates. Big thanks to Aaron Young and Megan Cole over there at Laughlin Associates. So honored to have you guys on for our, I guess, your third year now. Merrill Chandler, Jessica, everybody over at the Funding Hackers, or the Get Fundable, formerly Credit Sense. Big kudos to you guys. Thank you for being a sponsor for now, I think in your second years too. Big shout out to those at Quest IRA or Quest Trust Company for being a sponsor in the past. Big shout out to just, Podetize. We could not do what we do without Podetize.com. So big kudos to Tom and Tracy and Alexandra Hazard. Our whole team does an amazing job out there. If you've got a podcast and looking at things rock and roll and awesome. So just want to say thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to all that support us. Thank you to our staff. And thank you, like I said, to everybody out there. If I've left you off, did not mean to, but thank you to all our listeners out there listening on a loyal basis. I always give a big shout out to Laura Blanc, who's one of the first ones to always like our videos when we share them on Facebook and our Facebook family. Kudos to you, Laura. Thank you for following and sharing. Jeff Wolf, just to name a few. Joseph and Joe and Rich Fabitz. Thanks to you guys as well out there. You guys do a great job and are always one of the first ones to like what we're sharing. So we've just got a huge family of note investors across the country. So thank you again, as always, to our coaching students and our members, our WC and crew members. Thank you so much for being a part of our family. But I wanted this episode, besides thanking everybody for an amazing 2019, and it's hard to believe this is episode 550. We've interviewed a lot of great people over the last couple of years. And when I start looking at, okay, who does what downloads did well, what episodes did really well this year, it was no surprise at some of the things that popped up. And so that's what I wanted to go through with you guys. The top 10 download episodes for the No Closure Show. One of the things that I'll do is, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll post the links actually to the actual episode so you can go back and listen to those. So I highly encourage you to check out our YouTube channel, everybody. youtube.com/WeCloseNotes, subscribe there. Help us to get to 3,000 subscribers. We're at like 70 shy of 3,000 subscribers. So we'd be honored to have you guys subscribe and follow us there. But we'll also post this on the Note Closure Show Facebook page like we did last year's top 10. So without any further ado, here's the top 10 episodes of 2019, everybody. All right, so we'll start with number 10. Number 10 is episode 432, and it's the Power of the Note Mastermind episode, which is really exciting to see that in a top 10 episode. People listening want to learn more about the Note Mastermind, learning about what we offer up, what goes into a good mastermind, what have we covered. You know, we've done it, a mastermind 25 times over 7 years. And so that was really exciting to see that as a top 10 episode with over 1,500 downloads. Which was pretty exciting out there as well. So like I say, hey, if you're interested in learning more about it at Mastermind, we'd love to visit with you. We've got some cool stuff that we're doing now in the new year, a little bit different than what we've done this year. So make sure to check it out and see if it's a fit for you. We'd love to have you. But anyway, number 10 is episode 432, The Power of the Note Mastermind. So number 9 is episode 397, and this was New Year, New Plan. Now, New Year, New Plan talked about, okay, let's go into what's our plan for the year. What are we doing different? Very similar, maybe a couple episodes we've done beforehand. What is your focus? You know, what has worked and what hasn't worked? So it was a very popular episode as well. Once again, over 1,500 downloads on our podcast platform. But did a really great job on that episode of kind of outlining, okay, here's where you need to go. Here's what you're focused on. You know, look at what's worked, what doesn't work, and move on from there. I highly suggest you go back and listen to that one because it'll be very similar to what you're going to be doing in the new year, new decade too. It's hard to believe that. Number 8 out there is not a surprise. It's one of our most lively vendors and sponsors who does just an amazing job. This is Are You Effable with Merrill Chandler. And it's amazing to see how he's used that kind of term and slogan with his podcast, Are You Effable, along with his new book, The New F Word. So big kudos to Merrill Chandler. Just under 1,600 downloads with Merrill on that stuff. And that was episode 404, Are You Effable with Merrill Chandler. Done a great job. Absolute amazing guy. And it's amazing to see how well their business is taking off this year, how they've revolutionized his business. New Year, New Plan for Merrill and the team over there at Credit Sense, or formerly Credit Sense, going to doing so many conferences, doing a lot more online events. It's worked out well for him, and bravo to him. Number 7 is another one of our longer term sponsors. It's Aaron Young with Laughlin Associates, and he also is a very similar episode. Episode 395 was New Year, New Tribe with Aaron Young. And in that episode, we talked about, okay, how are you going to go out and find new people to surround yourself with, new people to network with, new people for potentially new clients? You know, we are an average of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with. If you're not happy with with where you're at currently, it's probably because you're not surrounding yourself with people that are above you that can help you grow and stretch. So that was a great episode in episode 395. Once it's over 600 episodes. Number 6 was just above. We're talking the difference of just a couple downloads between Aaron Young and episode 394, which we had our buddy Henry Kaminsky Jr. on, the brand doctor, come on and share some nuggets, literally back-to-back episodes. You can see episode 394. It's actually kind of funny how a lot of this stuff all falls in the same category of how they, I just noticed this now. There's a stretch there, all did really, really well. But anyway, this is all kind of the end of the year, the new year stuff before 2018. But anyway, episode 394, The Brand Doctor with Henry Kaminsky Jr., our buddy, who is just an amazing job out of New Jersey. He works with brands, big brands, and he really shared some nuggets on his episode, how to brand yourself, how to really act professional. If you're going to do a high ticket dollar type of coaching or thing, you want to look that part. You want your brand to speak volumes for you. And in a lot of places, that's a big thing that people fall down on. So kudos to Henry Kaminsky Jr. He did an amazing job of that episode and is just killing it with his company out there. But he's known as the Brand Doctor. So episode 394, the Brand Doctor. The previous episode is our buddy, Tom Singer from the podcast Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do. Tom did a really great job being on episode 393. And he's over 1,700 downloads on his particular episode with us here. And if you don't know Tom Singer, he's a good friend. Just actually had lunch with him last week, or actually, yes, on Friday. I forget what day of the week it is right now. But I had a week lunch with him. We were talking about podcasting and where he's focused. Tom's a professional speaker. He does a lot of emceeing of events, and he's a master of ceremonies. He also speaks professionally for different trade shows. He's got his podcast, Cool Things That Entrepreneurs Do. He's also the podcast host of a couple conferences that started podcasts, and they brought him on and going to be the host of the podcast. So just he has a big heart for helping other people. He's also I won't say struggling comedian, but he's got a passion for new comedians. He's been on a lot of stand-up open mic nights, and he's looking to do that as a side thing as well. And he's doing well. It's interesting seeing him evolve and his comedy evolve as he hones his skill and craft. And I think I have to give him a big applause, because I don't think everybody wants to do that at 50, go out and start to kind of rebrand some of the things that they're doing for fun. But he has done a great job of it, and we're really proud of what Tom is doing. But anyway, he came in at number 5 most downloaded episode in 2019. So big kudos to him. Number 4, it was episode right before Tom's, 392. This is it, 392, 393, 94, 95. Wow. But anyway, this is with our we're favorites. Don't get me wrong, we love self-directed IRA investors. We love self-directed IRA companies. But this one kind of stands out from the rest with the amount of education. And who we're talking about, we're talking about Quest Trust Company out of Houston, Texas. And with this episode, it was 392, and included Ingrid Chavez, who did an amazing job of the end of the year self-directed IRA guidelines is the title, episode 392. And she came on and shared really great nuggets about things you need to be looking to do, things you need to do with your self-directed IRAs. You need to start looking at pulling market values. You need to start maxing out your contributions between now and April 15th. You need to be setting up some new accounts. And each one's a little bit differently set up. So she did a really great job coming on talking about that. Episode 392, number 4. This one did really well. Just under 1,800 downloads for our number 4 episode with Ingrid Chavez from Quest Trust Company. So she's in charge of the Austin location here. That brings us to our number 3, our top 3 episodes of 2019. And the number 3 downloaded episode was episode 399. And it's our friend Stephanie Lahart from Boomtown Marketing. And her episode titled Marketing Boom with Stephanie Lahart. Stephanie just did an amazing job coming on and sharing some great Instagram secrets, how to use Instagram to market your business. We talked about using Instagram effectively in real estate, particularly. And so her episode just did an amazing job, just under 1,900 downloads. Absolutely just killed it. I just spoke to her recently, actually. She's out there kicking butt and taking names in LA. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm top 3. She was really surprised. And she said, I'm honored to be in that list, which is awesome. So kudos to her. Great episode. Honestly, if you're looking to market, hey, you would definitely want to spend some time listening to that episode. Marketing Boom, episode 399 with Stephanie Lahart. That takes us to the number 2 downloaded episode. Number 2 is from a guy who's in the last year I've gotten to know pretty well. He's become a friend. So he's doing a lot of stuff for other podcasters, who's taken his couple podcasts and really leveraged them into a live event called New Media Summit that I've been the honor to speak at 3 times and be an icon of influence, and met a lot of great podcasters there. Actually, that's how I met Tom Singer. Was at the first one here in Austin over a year ago. And he asked me to be an icon of influence. I was like, what is an icon? And he shared what that was, somebody who's doing a really great job with their podcast. So I'm really honored that Steve was a number 2 episode 391, Reinvention Radio, Steve Olsher. Reinvention Radio is just one of his podcasts where he talks about entrepreneurs reinventing themselves. Does a great job. I highly encourage you to check it out. But he came in as the number 2 episode in 2019 downloads. Over 1,900 downloads, and just absolutely doing a great job. His next New Media Summit event is in March. I think the second week of March. like the 9th, 10th, and 11th in San Diego. And so if you're looking to get booked or looking to do some other things and expand your network with podcasters, that would be a great event, especially if you're out on the West Coast in Southern California, easy to get to. But Steve does a great job. He's also launching the podcast magazine. So he's doing a really good job with that. That comes out here in the first of the year. So kudos to him and his staff. Kelly Polker does an amazing job as well in keeping Steve in line. So that takes us to the number one. The most downloaded episode of 2019, and it was kind of surprising. It's in that same batch. We had 391, 392, 393, 394, 395, 397, 399, and this is episode 396. And this is the 2018 year in review podcast episode where we talked about the top 10 episodes of 2018. So it's an easy way for you to see, hey, what are the biggest and best episodes that people like? All right. What are they listening to? We went through those 10 episodes of the top 10 and just kind of talked about, okay, what did we accomplish? What did we see in 2018? And, what are we looking forward to in 2019 at the time? So episode 396, it's interesting to see when you look at numbers. Me, I'm a numbers guy. I love looking at numbers and seeing how things ranked year over year, especially when it comes down to average number of downloads, what's trending and what episodes are doing well. And so when you compare 2018 to 2019, our top 10 episodes in 2019 did well. If we look back at what they did in 2018, the top 10, our average download number for 2018, if we run some numbers, was lower last year compared to this year by almost 50%. But we did have the number one downloaded episode that we had did really well was the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, episode 211 at 3,041. And if we go back, that was the number one downloaded episode. If we go back to when we first launched, I always like to look at and see what episodes since we started this thing. When we go back to August 20th, 2007, when we first launched the podcast, to where we're at today, and looking at the number one most downloaded episodes, we look back over that. I think it's always a big thing to look at. Obviously, the ones we just talked about all did really well. And then we go back. The KISS method is obviously going to come out still as a number one downloaded episode for the most part. I'm waiting for my system to upgrade here or upload here. We did a total of just under 166,000 downloads in 2018. We've doubled that number in 2019. But that's the thing you look at. We always try to grow. Obviously, we attract more listeners. We attract about somewhere between 75 and 90 subscribers to our YouTube channel on a monthly basis. And, we see somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000, views there. Tons of hours of downloaded content, watch content there. Of course, our radio stations, we've grown it since March from an average of roughly 70,000 listeners to the radio station's website on an hourly basis to now over 76,000 on average. So we're growing that little by little in the last 9 months, increased it by 6,000 listeners plus for the most part. But that's the thing, guys. Look at your numbers. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've accomplished. If you're living a life that you're not happy or you're not having success in either deals or marketing, your marketing numbers will tell you exactly where you're at, what's working, what's not working. And looking back at these episodes, we've got a variety of episodes that have just done tremendous downloads. Some of them have really peaked, like the KISS method. I was actually kind of a little surprised about some of the top 10 episodes that we had, with all being in that kind of 391 to 398, 400 range. I mean, it's not really surprised they've had a full year to download. I don't expect episodes from like last week to exceed that. But the beautiful thing is, with us having right at this being technically the 400th episode that we truly did a podcast on, and seeing that we're averaging over 1,000 downloads per episode, roughly about 1,200 downloads on average across the board on downloads. That gives me sight. And, for the 1,000 of you that listen to us on a regular basis, the way I look at that, thank you. Thanks for being a part of our family. Thanks for sharing. And if there's ever a topic you'd like to see us cover, or ever a nugget, or, not just a nugget, but a true topic or case study or something you'd like to see us talk, I would love to hear from you. If there's a speaker, educator, or a vendor or something you'd like to have us talk with, I would be glad to reach out to them and have them on the podcast. It's important to me because it's important to you guys. And so we're really looking forward to what the new year 2020 holds for us. We're right at, total. Yeah, we've got, 1,200 plus. So if we look back at this, running basically from the beginning to where we're at today, the KISS method still number one. Launching Your Business, episode 195, just under 2,800 downloads. It's number two. Business Models for Your Note Business, episode 151, the second episode we did, is done well. Note Case Study is done well as well. Welcome to the Note Closer Show podcast. Our kickoff one doesn't surprise me. Our Due Diligence for Dummies episode, part one, Creating Your Entity Fortress with Aaron Young, has done well, still top 10. Solutions to Common Problems in Note Investing is another episode, 284. 289, what should you know about note investing, non-performing first and seconds, is also done well. And then also episode 271, Reperforming Notes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, just under 2,000 downloads. So, when you look back at that and what people like, what people listen to, we plan on focusing on a lot of that stuff in 2020. We're still going to mix it up with interviews, but I think one of the things that we're going to start off with, is coming first of the year, we plan on really focusing on a lot of content, kind of starting over. Hey, if I had to start over in the note business, what would I need to look at? What do I need to focus on? Where do I need to find my, deals? What do I need to say? What don't I need to say? We're also working to have some asset managers come on from different banks and funds out there to talk with you a little bit on the episode, on the podcast, to share about some of the things. We're also going to throw it out here, and I would like to do a segment at least once a month with some live callers, live Q&A, to be on the podcast and do some coaching out there as well. So if you'd like to be on, if you're listening in a market and want to talk about that market, we'd love to have you on to talk about it. And I think that's one of the things I know. So what we are going to do, I'm kind of excited. I really am excited, is that we are going to focus on our bigger markets this year, especially when we travel a little bit. We'll be doing some live remotes, live recordings, and really focused on getting back out in the community, travel a bit more. So, and connecting with our Note Nation audience out there. So, but I just wanted to share with you guys our top 10 episodes of 2019. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening, and keep subscribing, keep sharing, and we'll keep going out, keep delivering, and make sure that we see you at the top, everybody. So have a great day. Hopefully you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a very happy and safe Happy New Year, everybody.